New Albany, located in southern Indiana, is known for its historic buildings, river views, and a number of notable firsts, including the state's first high school, and in 1949 established the first student-run FCC-licensed radio station in the country, WNAS. In 1973, after nearly 30 years of high school graduations, top 40 music, and weather reports, a new manager was hired at the station.
That summer, Superintendent Bob Holmes met a young radio person named Lee Kelly. Lee was the sports director of a local radio station, WREY. Superintendent Holmes convinced Kelly to leave his job with WREY and come to New Albany.
WNAS thrived under Lee Kelly's leadership, adding teacher announcements, game shows, and even election coverage.
1980, I was approached by the National Election Service, and they approached my class about covering all of the precincts. Lee suggested to me, when he found out I was doing the election night coverage, why not do it on TV? So we went on the air. As the results would come back, Lee would have students to read them, and Lee and myself would sit behind a desk and give updates of who was winning and who wasn't winning.
Along with election coverage, WNAS introduced listeners to local and national politicians, sports personalities, and local celebrities. They even began experimenting with television production, broadcasting locally on Channel 2. And throughout the 1990s, Kelly and his students prioritized athletics. Eventually, WNAS, and Lee Kelly in particular, would become known as the voice of the Bulldogs.
For this morning, says snow should be getting around 6 a.m. with temperatures remaining in the upper 20s.
In the late 70s, early 80s, he included not only minor sports like swimming and tennis and volleyball, but he expanded it to do girls' sports. In 1999, Lee followed the girls' basketball team and broadcast the first student broadcast of a state finals game in 1999 when New Albany won the state championship.
Bulldogs of New Albany celebrate their first girls basketball state championship in undefeated fashion.
I always really appreciated that Mr. Kelly did not treat us as kids or as teenagers. He treated us like adults. He gave us adult roles and adult responsibilities in terms of running our radio shifts or running our assignments within the TV studio. To have an adult who doesn't talk down to you, who treats you as if you are an equal and as if you are a professional, goes a really long way. Although it was technically a class, it was much more than that. You had all the responsibilities that you would in running the day-to-day operations of a professional radio station or a TV studio, TV department. It felt like when you're a kid in a small town in Indiana, this feels like an opportunity that you're getting to do something that is big time. And for me, I had always loved TV. I loved watching TV. I loved being behind the scenes. I loved all of those different aspects of it, but I had no idea what it took to make it all possible. It's great that you can see the finished product, but you have no idea the intricacies behind it.
You can come support the boys football team for second round sectionals against Floyd Central at 7 o'clock.
I remember walking into the studios at IU and then also studios when I had internships, and I immediately had a level of comfort because there were so many parallels between what we'd done in high school to what they were using and the function of everything on a professional grade basis. And for me, it was, oh, I know how to run this camera. I know how to run this teleprompter. I know how to do whatever aspect it is they're asking me to do helps you immensely in terms of being a vital asset and not just someone who they have to teach and bring along.
Good afternoon. It is 1:37 here at New Albany High School. My name is Nathan Samsel here in the studio for the next about 20 minutes.
In 2013, after nearly 4 decades of teaching, mentoring, and broadcasting, Lee Kelly retired. He stayed active in the community and at the station he built. In 2020, Kelly died after a brief battle with lung cancer. Today, WNAS stands as a legacy to one man's vision, passion, and a never-ending commitment to his students.
I remember going to Lee with ideas as students of things that we wanted to do, and he never shot an idea down. Some of them he might chuckle a little bit more at than others, but he never made you feel like that anything you wanted to do was silly or outlandish or unachievable. And I always appreciated that he had that open door policy where you could go in, whether it was something you wanted to do that was incredibly creative or a little bit of outside the box or a big lofty goal that you had. He was always a wonderful sounding board. When you would plop down in his office where there was always a full pot of coffee and you could just chat with him about anything and everything, and he cared so genuinely about your well-being and about your success, not just as a student but as a person. And he had that ability to connect with you not on just a teacher to student level. It was a personal level in which you felt like even if there were several decades between the two of you, that you were talking to someone who considered you an equal and a peer.
I believe I learned how to treat people in my 3 years with Mr. Kelly more than at any time in my life.
Mr. Kelly was more than a teacher. He was a friend and a mentor. I have him to thank for my love of the TV business, and it makes me happy to know he was proud of where my career took me. I'll miss his smiling face on the catwalk.
He really devoted so much time, energy, effort, and passion into WNAS, New Albany High School, the students, and the community.
When I think of Mr. Kelly, I don't think teacher. I think mentor. He treated us like adults and gave us ownership and creative liberties in a publicly aired product. That's real hands-on learning.
I can credit Lee Kelly with everything good in my life because my time with Lee was the starting point for all things, both personal and professional, that bring me joy. If Lee Kelly said I could do it, then it must be true.
13 after 6 o'clock on Friday morning, the 8th day of December, with New Albany and Floyd Central on tap for tonight here on WNAS Radio.